Hello, everybody. I'm Steve Perky, and welcome to the show today. We got a very special show to you, actually. With it being Black History Month, I figured it would be a nice time to kind of really cherish and appreciate the athletes who went through the struggle. For every single African-American athlete to be in the game today. Because at some point, people have to go through the struggle of racism, diversity, and break down those barriers, break down that wall. And these guys I'm going to mention today are actual personal heroes of mine. And one of them is a real big personal hero of mine. Arthur Ashe. But before I get to that, I just really want to let everyone know, sports unites people. And since man's been playing baseball, man's been playing football, basketball, it's always united people, in a way. And that's even with African American history. Jackie Robinson united people. That guy went through struggles to make sure other guys can play the game of baseball that weren't white. And I just want to thank all those guys. Thank you for your dedication and the sacrifices that you made for your own mental health, everything, just to play baseball, basketball, football. Thank you. But I'm going to get to some of my personal heroes. Arthur Ashe, like I said, probably one of the most underrated and also one of the greatest tennis players of all time. The guy won 3 Grand Slam titles. And for the ones who are not really well-rounded on the tennis aspect of things, Wimbledon, Australian Open, U.S. Open. Those are hard to do. Winning a Grand Slam title, that takes a lot of dedication. And also, he was the first black tennis player to be on the United States Davis Cup team. I mean, this guy broke almost every single tennis record for an African American. He was the first African American number 1 ranked player in the world in 1975. He had a 76.2 career percentage wins. The guy couldn't lose for a while. 76 career titles. And sadly, it breaks my heart, in 1993, he was getting a heart bypass surgery. And somehow he contracted AIDS. And when I say he's a personal hero of mine, this is where it really hits. In the 90s, with AIDS being such a devastating thing, I mean, it still is, but in the 90s, it was death sentence. And with him having so much little time left, that guy made sure to do charities, donations, spent time with people. He made every single moment worth it. And ESPN does that Arthur Ashe Award for courageous acts. And man, I mean, to win that award would mean so much. But this guy made sure in his final moments of life to give back. And he's still impacting people's lives today. Every day. Every single day. And people who know me really well know I'm a huge baseball guy. Like, I love my baseball. April, and this is just a suggestion of mine, I think they need to make April African American History Month for the sport of baseball. Because if you look at all these moments where it's the first African American to do this, and that, a lot of it takes place in April. And a few names definitely come up. Hank Aaron, Larry Doby, Frank Robinson, Jackie Robinson. Obviously, Jackie Robinson's the important one, the most important. I mean, they played their part. But Jackie Robinson, obviously the first African American player to play baseball in Major League Baseball. Debut April 15th, 1947. And then I'll make the April ties here in a second, but I'm going to go through a few of these guys. Obviously, Hank Aaron broke Babe Ruth's record. Larry Doby, the second African American baseball player. And then Frank Robinson, the first African American coach. And for you Cleveland Indians / Guardians fans out there, we all know Larry Doby, Frank Robinson. Frank Robinson was that. Actually, he coached the Indians at the time. And Larry Doby, second player, African American, played for the Indians. But he made his debut. I don't have this in my notes, but I believe he made his debut in July. But someone will have to fact check that for me. But I think he made his debut in July. But I mean, Frank Robinson, Hall of Fame player. Larry Doby, Hall of Fame player. Hank Aaron, Hall of Fame player. Jackie Robinson, Hall of Fame player. For example here, Frank Robinson, 586 career home runs, 2 MVPs, a 294 career batting average. Larry Doby, Hall of Fame player, 9-time All-Star. He had a 17-year career, And then Hank Aaron, Hall of Fame player, MVP award, 755 career home runs. Barry Bonds broke that about, I think, 10 some years ago. But he held that record forever. He beat Babe Ruth, who's considered the god of baseball players. Hank Aaron had a 305 batting average, almost 4,000 hits. He had 3,777 career hits. Like, that's so hard to do. It's almost impossible to do for a lot of guys. And here's an interesting fact. Hank Aaron, who held a home run record for felt like 100 years, never had a season with 50 home runs. If you look at these guys that had all these home run records, they all had seasons of 50 home runs. Not Hank Aaron. Not Hank Aaron. And back to that April connection, it's really weird how the universe plays out. It just feels like it's meant to be. So, like I said, Jackie Robinson made his debut April 15th. But here's the really, really cool part. Hank Aaron broke Babe Ruth's record on April 8th, 1974. Frank Robinson, the first African-American manager, made his debut on April 8th, 1975. A year later. Exactly a year later. And the point I'm trying to make here is Jackie Robinson should not be celebrated for one day. Frank Robinson should be celebrated. Hank Aaron should be celebrated. Frank Robinson died in 2019. Hank Aaron just passed away, I think this last January of 21. These guys need to get appreciation. These guys need some love. And they do. They don't get me wrong. They're in the Hall of Fame. Their jerseys are retired, but Jackie Robinson Day should be celebrated more. And I feel like there'd be so much more behind it if we could spread the love a little bit. Get Hank Aaron, get Robinson, get Larry Doby recognized. And Larry Doby needs more recognition because, in a way, he's overshadowed by Robinson because he was the second guy to the party. And I don't know if I'm just being biased because I'm a Cleveland Guardians fan, but Larry Doby needs some appreciation too. I mean, his number's retired by the Cleveland Guardians, but it's not retired by Major League Baseball. And I'm not saying they have to retire its number, but I am saying that it'd just be nice. I mean, the whole month of April, I think we should be celebrating these players because at a time when Jackie Robinson was playing, the things that would be yelled his way, the things that he would have to go through on the team buses, the team hotels, how he was segregated by his own teammates. He couldn't eat team dinner with these guys at the table. Larry Doby went through that. Hank Aaron got death threats from people when he was close to breaking Babe Ruth's record. You don't think Frank Robinson got hate just because if the team was struggling? They didn't look at the aspect that maybe it's just a baseball team struggling. They said, oh no, let's just get rid of him because he's black. There's people out there like that. And it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart. But going through all these guys, those are guys who I think, those are my personal heroes. I wish they would get a little more love. I wish they would. Larry Doby, that's who I'm talking about. Arthur Ashe, another guy. I wish he'd get a little more love. These guys went through so much. They went through so much. But I'm going to be wrapping up this segment here. And real quick before I do, don't be afraid to go through hate, guys, because it shapes us. You got to deflect it. And if you see someone who's hating on somebody because of their skin color, you got to put them in their place because it's 2022 and we don't need that anymore. We don't need to be going through another Robinson. Thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Have a great, great February. Thank you guys.